Hello and welcome to the TMC Newsroom. My name's Rich Tehrani. Thanks for watching us today. We're in Silicon Valley this week, meeting with the best and brightest companies out here. On our program today is Hal Steger. He's the VP of Marketing at Funambol. Hal, hi.
Hi, how's it going?
Great. So tell me about Funambol. What do you guys do?
Funambol started as a mobile open source company about 6 years ago with the goal of syncing any type of data with any device. And today what we're doing is we're making a product called XCloud, which basically is like Apple iCloud, except that it allows people to sync any data or media across any device, not just Apple devices.
So that's really useful because what you'd be able to do is not have your data tied to a specific provider of, let's say, content or music or videos. And if we're comparing it against Apple, where Apple right now is Apple-centric, and that makes it challenging for people that, let's say, have some Apple devices, but if they choose down the road to get an Android, they're kind of out of luck.
Exactly. It really is like the Switzerland of digital cloud locker solutions in that it allows people to have a locker of all of their data, all of their content, independent of whatever device they have, whatever operator they happen to use, and so they can keep control of it in the future.
Now, one of the big companies in that space, of course, is Amazon, and Google's also playing. There's some others. How do you differentiate?
Sure. So with Funambol, we're really a white label solution, meaning that we provide our software to other device makers, other mobile operators, portals, system integrators, people who are looking to provide a service to their end users. Whereas all the other companies that most people are familiar with, they're really a B2C company. We're really a B2B2C company. And that's one of the big differences.
So the white label aspect of it.
Yes.
And what are your white label customers telling you?
Basically what they're telling us is that now that Apple has introduced iCloud, that's helping to legitimize the market. And so they see that there's a big opportunity and a big need for them to provide a locker so that Apple doesn't kind of lap them and take their users. So the big thing that they're also interested in is making sure that whatever service they provide to their users, that it can support lots of different types of devices. It doesn't make sense from a user point of view to have one cloud that only works with Apple devices and another cloud that only works with Android and another cloud that only works with BlackBerry. From a user's point of view, they would prefer to have one cloud that works across all their devices. And so that's what our customers are telling us, is make sure that the service that we're providing to them supports all the different devices.
Now, as HTML5 becomes more popular, standardized, does that change the game for companies?
It definitely does change the game in a big way. And basically the way it changes the game is that in the past, software developers had to build native applications for each platform. And the thing about mobile that's very different from PCs is the whole fragmentation of all the different devices. In the PC world, there's primarily Windows, Macs, and Linux. In the mobile world, there's dozens of different types of platforms that developers have to build for. And so as a developer, your choice is, do I try to build native apps for each platform, or can I build one application that works across everything? And the way that HTML5 actually changes the game is that it really does allow developers to build rich applications that work across many devices. It's not a panacea because it's best for certain types of applications. For example, things like games that really need to get into the hardware, take advantage of some of the accelerated capabilities. That's not going to be helped by HTML5, but for the bulk of applications, yes, it really will make a big difference.
So what do you see as the biggest competitive threat?
Biggest competitive threat would be basically other companies that support lots of other devices like Funambol. So for example, one is a company called Dropbox, and Dropbox has become very popular. They recently hit the 25 million user mark. But the thing with Dropbox is that they're pretty much file-oriented. That's what they allow you to do, is to take your files from a PC, for example, put them in the cloud, access it on 2 or 3 mobile devices. With Funambol, we support a full range of rich media, so pictures, videos, music, as well as files, as well as all of your PIM data being your contacts that you might have in any system, whether it's Gmail, Outlook, etc., your calendar, which is all over the place, tasks, notes, email. We bring it all together into one place. And so, so the other thing with something like a Dropbox is that they're a B2C solution. Again, they're not a white label solution.
Right.
So
That'll be kind of competitive to the carrier solution.
exactly, that's right. So we indirectly compete with them, but not directly.
Okay. What's next for the company?
Next is that, so there's different ways that companies are trying to monetize users. And so one way is kind of a storage-based model like a Dropbox. Another is a content model like Apple, where they're basically giving their cloud service away for free and trying to make money through iTunes. And there's a couple other models. For us, one of our areas for expansion is forming partnerships with a lot of the content companies, the music providers, the movie providers, companies like that, the studios, so that one thing I didn't mention, by the way, is that we do host our service for our customers. And so when we host it, sometimes they'll come to us and say, hey, do you already have a relationship with a music company? Because we don't have one. And so we want to be in a position where we can say yes.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for being on the program.
Sure, my pleasure.